sisters, stop marrying out. Black sisters, don't go for these racist white men. Oh, you black sisters, you coons. The black man is playing a game. The black sausage is playing a game. The black King Kong dick is playing a game. Cause the black King Kong dick won't build you an empire. He won't build you a civilization. He won't buy a mansion and make you live in it. He won't support you, but he'll fuck you. He won't marry you, but he'll turn you to his whore. And when you've had enough, and you says, I want to be treated like the queen that I am, and you go and find yourself a lovely white man, that same King Kong wants to interfere with your happiness by pretending it was your fault. You join these pro-black groups and you look how they see you as. There is no blessing in whatever black people do. The Nation of Islam, how it was started, Elijah Muhammad sexually abused young black girls, and black women are still members of the Nation of Islam. They sexually abused 13 young black girls and blamed them, kicked them out the Nation of Islam.
Welcome to my channel. This is Divested Diamonds. You have arrived. Hello, ladies. Please do me a favor and click the like button as you watch this video. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Whew. You mammies are a disgrace. You're disgusting. And dare I say, some of the worst form of humanity to ever walk this earth. Unlike your emotionally vacant Sonsbands, yeah, your sons who are also your husbands, the ones you pedestalize over everybody else, you are the creators of life. And as a group of people who've been chosen to fulfill that privilege, it baffles me how you would commit such heinous crimes to your own daughters while protecting your demon sons. It's very clear that you hate yourselves and everything your image represents. It's very clear that you are threatened by other women too, including your very own female offspring. Your morally inept, degenerate sons are bad. And that's to be expected because they do a great job at not concealing how they really feel about women and girls in their own race. But you, you, there's a special place for you in the abyss. This undying love that you have for your Sonsbands is not only weird, it's unnatural, but it's your whole existence and a reason to live for most of you. What's really sad is that you can't seem to have the same love for your own daughters. Oh no, because that would be too much to ask. Welcome to episode 2 of the Dysfunctional Tales of Blackistan. In this video, we're going to discuss the brutal departure of this sweet, innocent young girl named Julicia, who was apparently an inconvenience to her own mother. Navasia Jones, 36, from the Bronx, and her 17-year-old son, Paul Fine Jr. of Brooklyn, were charged with murder and manslaughter of 7-year-old Julicia Baddies, according to the NYPD spokesperson. Julicia's parents were in a vicious custody battle, and the little girl had lived with her grandmother. Before her death, the helpless little girl cried and pleaded with her grandmother not to send her back to her mother's house for the court-ordered weekend visit, the New York Post reported. Last Wednesday, Jones and Fine Jr. were taken into custody at approximately 9:30 a.m. by officers from New York City's 40th Precinct. Jones now faces charges of murder, manslaughter, acting in a manner injurious to a child, and failure to exercise control of a minor. Her teenage son faces charges of manslaughter, sexual abuse, and acting in a manner injurious to a child. So, this heinous crime took place on August 10th, of 2021 when police responded to a 911 call of an unconscious female inside the Bronx apartment located on Laverne Avenue around 8:06 a.m. Upon arrival, responding officers encountered EMS, who had attempted life-saving care to the little girl. Julicia's mother told the police that her daughter had fallen and hit her head on a desk at around 5 a.m. and 3 hours later began vomiting. However, police saw bruising and trauma all over Julicia's body, officials said. The New York Times previously reported. She was transported to NYC Health and Hospital in Lincoln, where she died shortly after. Julicia died of blunt force abdominal trauma, and the case was ruled a homicide, according to the city's medical examiner's office, the New York Post previously reported. Yolanda Davis, Julicia's grandmother, who had taken care of her granddaughter, waited for this moment of reckoning. "I'm just happy I'm getting justice for my granddaughter," she said. She added, "Oh my God, I've never felt so great," she said. The New York Post reported. Julicia's dad, Julius Baddies, was elated by their arrest and expressed gratitude towards the DA and the detectives. It's funny how all of a sudden he has something to say when clearly he wasn't raising his own daughter. These dust mites are a trip. But let's continue. Julicia's father said, in part, "I can finally start the process of healing," the New York Post reported. Now, fine. The woman's son and Julicia's half-brother confessed to punching his sister 8 times in the face when their mother had gone out to the store, police source and the news outlet said. So, police have been called to the apartment at the NYCHA's Mitchell houses on Alexander Avenue at least over 6 times in the past 3 years, sources said. And one of those times, the mother covered up for her son, a report said. In one of the assaults, Julicia's brother told cops that his mother lied to the Administration for Children's Services when they showed up at their home and questioned the 7-year-old's black eye, sources said. The mother allegedly told officials with the agency that a younger sibling hit the girl with a toy gun by accident, according to sources. The mother also denied knowing of her son attacking his younger sister, sources said. So this woman appears to have a habit of protecting her son because quite clearly the daughter doesn't mean that much to her. You see, this is why certain groups of people do not need to procreate. Like seriously, some people do not deserve to have children. And these, unfortunately, are not the only children that this woman has. This woman is a serial baby mama. She reportedly has 7 other children, and the city has taken each of her 7 children away from her at some point, a report said. Yolanda Davis, the little girl's grandmother, fought alongside a court-appointed attorney, but in June of 2021, the City Administration for Children's Services returned Julicia back into her mother's care. She was sent back to live with her mother. It would be without supervision for the first time, and Julicia was deleted less than 2 months later, the Post reported. The girl's father felt that ACS failed him and his daughter by giving the child to the mother who allegedly abused her, the New York Post previously reported. I mean, I'm not really interested in hearing what this deadbeat father has to say in any of this, because he doesn't appear to have tried hard enough to protect and care for his own daughter. It's so easy to sit on the sideline after the fact, talking about how you shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's too late. If you really cared about your daughter, sir, and you could prove that the mother was abusing her while she was still alive, I don't see why any court in this country could not give you custody. But you're probably another Dusty, another bum who mooches off of other people. No stability, no finances, etc. If you were so competent as a parent and well established, why wouldn't custody be given to you? Why was the child living with the grandmother majority of the time? What's your story? Aren't you the other parent? Where was your vigilance in all of this when she was still alive? These crusty, musty, dusty men are all the same. You want to talk that talk after your daughter is gone, but you couldn't walk that walk when she was alive? Please shut up and sit down. You're just as bad. I mean, yeah, the system failed Julicia, but the parents failed her even more. The system was created to help in certain aspects of child safety and wellness. It wasn't created to take over parenting of anyone's children. These services are there to help, not to be utilized as the end-all and be-all of parenting. That's your job. If you suck as a parent, which both of these people do, that's your incompetence and no one else's. I just don't understand this sense of entitlement with some of these people. You took a private moment in which you created a child and made it everybody else's problem. The way I see it, imbeciles don't deserve to procreate. They don't. Everyone has the right to live their life how they see fit. But if your personal issues become everybody else's problem, perhaps you should be limited on doing certain things until you can prove to society that you are capable of taking care of your own personal business. Now, I hear this all the time with people saying, it's my life, I can do what I want. Okay, fair enough. And then they get pregnant. And guess who has to take care of those children? Everybody else but the people who brought them into this world. Do you think it's fair for the taxpayer to pick up the tab for your kids? Do you think it's fair for you to put that responsibility on the kid's grandmother when the kid has two living parents? Do you think it's fair for the public to pick up your tab for your GoFundMe funerals? Do you think it was fair for Julicia to be born to two incompetent parents who neglected her? Do you think it's fair for incompetent people to keep having children? Do you think it's fair that this little beautiful girl didn't stand a chance in this world? Do you think it's fair that she was abused, sexually assaulted at such a tender age? Do you think it's fair that the one person who should have been protecting her was actually the one putting her in harm's way? Do you think it's fair that women like her lie just to protect their incestuous sons? Do you think that it was fair for this child to not know a life free of abuse with the experience of a good, decent childhood all the way up to adulthood? Do you think it was fair that this child was born into these terrible circumstances just to endure such trauma at 7 years old? This glamorization of baby mamahood within the so-called community is problematic. The issue starts with these toxic relationships that some of you have. And you see, it's not just these types of Black women who are problematic. Black males are also to blame for this. You see, as much as they like to distance themselves from these situations, they are mostly responsible for this stereotype because they're the ones who aren't present in their children's lives. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that breeding recklessly with no resources has a huge impact on your children. These harsh environments that you insist on bringing children into yield very little to no positive results. Baby mama culture is a problem because you have broken people creating generation after generation of broken children. And these are the same children who later become problematic and sometimes dangerous to the rest of society. This is not okay. Julicia was a victim of circumstance. She didn't deserve this. But this is what happens when people feel entitled in society. You're always complaining about how the white man is keeping you down, but he's the same one trying to save you from yourselves. You keep complaining how you have no opportunities and how some opportunities are being taken away from you, but don't you think that you're taking away your own opportunities by getting in the way of yourselves? Every bad decision you make that you don't correct takes away from any opportunity you could have had. Look at yourselves and stop blaming other people for your foolishness. How do you think your world would be if the government, by way of the taxpayer, didn't give you this assistance? Where would you be then? Would you still perpetuate these self-imposed poverty conditions where you bear no responsibility or accountability for your reckless actions? I'm just saying, most of you are able to do this shit because you understand that you have choices. Now, you can say, well, I didn't have much choice, and that is why I'm getting assistance. Or, I didn't have much choice, and that is why my daughter is staying with her grandmother. But the fact that you're even able to do these things speaks to the privilege that you so conveniently claim you don't have. You're so blinded by foolishness and bad decision making that you don't see how fortunate you are. The fact that you're able to get these quote unquote free services is also part of the reason majority of you are complacent. This is extreme foolishness, dangerous foolishness. It's heartbreaking that no one paid attention to this child and her needs. She was cursed with bad parents. She was cursed with a bad mother who would much rather protect the demon's son. The same demon who inflicted pain on her daughter, her Sonsband, and ignored her baby's cry for help. And Junior over here was having a good old funky time, being the horny bastard that he is, molesting this little girl, R-ing this little girl, performing heinous, incestuous acts on this girl. He punched her in the face like a rag doll, his own half-sister. You see, when we report on these issues, there are so many people who are resistant to us for spreading the truth. They don't like to hear it because it makes an already broken so-called community appear as the cesspool that it really is. You mammies are a disappointment. You're trash. You don't care about your own female children because guess what? For the right price, you would trade that little girl's vagina for money. You are okay maintaining those weird relationships with your Sonsbands at the expense of your daughters. You're deeply depraved and extremely disgusting for this. And like I said earlier, there's a special place for people like you in the abyss. All I can say at this point is my heart goes out to this little girl. May little Julicia rest in peace. May her soul rest in peace. I'll end the video here, but please let me know what you think by leaving your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, ladies, be careful who you share your DNA with. Live your life free of negativity, and operate on a higher frequency to keep low vibrational trash out of your life. Thank you so much for watching. This is Divested Diamonds, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Diamonds.